Good morning, this is Pixie doing another video. Just playing around with my voice today. Nice and crisp. Just thoughts generally. Some stuff about psychology, probably some stuff about MGTOW. So I haven't given up on the idea of international dating. It's just that I've had endless bad experiences, and it's more like the same with other sites. There's a group of people that are just interested in money. You wonder what the hell's going on, because there's sometimes nothing to be gained by what they do. Just collecting data on people and pictures and images, or maybe there's some kind of filter in place that's stopping the genuine relationships occurring in favour of you buying a subscription. And then there's odd things like some sites where the women have got subscriptions, which is great because you can write to them. There's not this weird barrier whereby women are free and men have to pay. Some sites are a bit like that because they're desperate to have real people in there, and then they substitute with models, which, I mean, basically they create a toxic environment and it poisons the men on the site, and then the men act in a particular way and the women find that disgusting, because they've been hit and shunned and they've been manipulated, and there's other men that are pretending to be women writing to them as well, so they're really unsure what they're looking for. And there's stuff about the patriarchy, looking at it as the matriarchy and the patriarchy, but I realise with psychology it's probably better to think less. People overanalyse things and they use the past as modelling for their current present. The problem with that is that most people, the past doesn't exist, that's the problem. It's a construct of experiences and recording information in your mind, things you feel that's true, and understandings. It doesn't necessarily fall into the same structure, plus the world moves on, different eras. Like, for example, if we talked about slavery and I said it was the worst form of racism, when slavery first begun, it had nothing to do with the race. It was about classism and separating the classes, and that having an underclass, which is where the slavery comes in, or if you conquered people and you kind of repurposed these people and you turned them into property, because otherwise the option was to probably massacre them. And so most people would probably think, a life of servitude, or get my head chopped off or hung, or whatever, however they want to kill me. So people went, and the thing is it didn't have things like human rights and other structures in place. It wasn't a formulated forms of slavery. Now, in the modern day era, we're still in forms of slavery. Like, we have to work to attain what we want in life. We're not given stuff. We're not in this. When we talk about things like privilege, it would be given something by someone else. Being white or being able to work or being able to speak English isn't a privilege. It's the result of industrial revolutions and society that I particularly live in. I mean, it's a kind of strange thing to talk about, like it was an offered gift. You should be privileged by this gift of this. And so, to be honest, if it's toxic, it doesn't work in your way of looking at the world, leave it. You don't have to take on other people's opinions. I mean, I was even thinking about sexuality. I was thinking of sexuality in God. And actually, God is unisexual because He's the universe. So He's not limited to any sexuality. And I think if you're not in a relationship actively, then maybe you are as well. And you can construct your own world to fit into new sexualities based on social advancement and success, which is drivers. We're driven by drivers. We would adapt our like appearance. Like, if you look at men that have probably feminised their appearance more, and they're using things like moisturisers, working at smelling good, wearing certain clothes and stuff. They're trying to appease a certain group and increase their level of success in mating. So they're adapting to the environment. That's all they're doing. If men being rough and smelling like oil was the new black, maybe, or whatever, the new orange, if you want to call it that, or whatever, then that's what the people would do. It's just the way things are. I mean, another example of that cultural kind of advancement is the problem with some Asian people that come into the UK. They didn't they had washing and cleansing rituals that were related to their country, and there was always a thing about some of them smelling because they wouldn't wash as much as say Westerns and things like that, and so they got that it left this impression that these people are smelly. I mean that's my experience back in the 80s. You know, if you go into a corner shop or as other things, you'd find a few Asian chaps that were really smelly. I don't know if they were Indian or any particular set of culture, but it left that imprint of that. You know, these guys smell. But the reality is nowadays, no, it's not. They're very well groomed. You know, people have adapted. Young men were looking for white women. They have to be clean. They have to be well presented. You know, or it could be modern black women as well in the UK or any other culture. To be honest, the competition between the two has lifted the standards. Where the standards are lower, they will drop down again. So that's kind of the modelling part of it. But people have got so obsessed with thinking the past, they stop feeling. Do you feel that's true? You know, or someone tells you, you know, that women are oppressed and stuff. No, there were different types of women in them times. I mean, basically, it was there was a structure in place. So you get married, you have children, you serve a role in society. Society dictated these roles based on your class and so on, and it was very structured. And it may appear archaic in some level, but that was the way it was. You know, it wasn't maybe they were oppressed. Maybe the women were more submissive, and the men had to form a more dominant role because they've been led to believe that way. And now women have evolved. You know, if I could take a brain of someone from Victorian era and I could take a woman of the modern day now, you'd probably notice that the actual neural networks and the way the brain's developed is totally different. And that's because the conscious construct of society, or as the biological construct of who you are. Some things like ADHD is because the mother's condition before the child's before it's burned into the world, before it's born, has the chemical balance is affected by the mother's stress hormone of cortisol and stuff. So it creates, you're already setting up your child to be a particular way before they're born because of the way you chemically change to your environment. And so it's a much bigger thing. And the other thing about evolution, I quite like the model of it. It's in the metaverse. It's spiritual. It's not biological. I don't think Darwin did originally say it was genetics. It's what people have bound by his theory and try to give credence to it, but they've turned it into a genetic playing field. I mean, he was an artist, and I think our great as an artist as well. So anyway, take care. This is Peace Surface video, and have a great one. Bye.